All eyes on Visakhapatnam as not only investments but also a lot more that is coming up. I'm joined by Visakhapatnam MP Bharat. Thank you so much for speaking with us. First and foremost, all eyes on Vizag, a lot of investments, a lot of new deals that are coming up as well. We're hearing Google, TCS, what's the plan in the kitty?
This is a very eventful day. We're meeting on the sidelines of just a revenue press conference. So I'll speak about that. But about investments at large, so this is the largest economic hub, and that's where you will see the high-end workforce will be willing to move. So we started off this government with the major announcement of TCS agreeing to come and start shop over there, and I think within 3 months the operations will start. The commitment is to do 10,000 workforce minimum, and we'd like to push that much further. Infosys has now taken on the challenge of scaling up their operations from 1,000 employees now to 10,000 plus, looking at the excitement that the energy is created. And recently they've made some small requests like lighting and buses and everything, which the earlier government wasn't able to provide, but the IT minister responded very promptly. Recently in the Davos summit, it was a very eventful trip with the chief minister, industries minister, the IT minister, the civil aviation minister. Cognizant has responded very positively, and we hope that something concrete will be announced on that front. For the data center, I think specific details will come out in time. It's not the appropriate for me to announce, but we did enter an MOU with Google to set up a cloud center in Visakhapatnam. So let the details come out and we will speak about that. Overall, you will find that Vizag will be an area where there will be a lot of soft services, there will be tourism, because as an urban city, manufacturing will not happen within the city. Another major thing that I'd particularly like to thank the central government, the Prime Minister, the Finance Minister, the Steel Minister is the revival of our steel plant.
I think a lot of debate has gone on with the steel plant. In fact, the Union Minister Kumaraswamy is also scheduled to arrive in Vizag today and tomorrow as well regarding this. How are the talks going on with the recent announcement by the Union government?
See, the steel plant over the last decade and a half, due to many poor decisions in the management, from being an organization that had close to 10,000 crores in cash reserves, has reached a stage now where the liabilities are close to 30,000 crores, including loans and payables to vendors. So it's in an unsustainable position. Our commitment as a party, as an alliance, has been that we will revive the steel plant and we will prevent it from being privatized. It was one of my 7 election promises as a member of parliament also. When the government changed from the intention of the central government to privatize plants that are not doing well, we impressed upon the government that apart from the sentiment of the state and of the people, there is a strong economic argument to reviving this plant. We have 20,000 plus acres. It's a shore-based plant with all the sufficient rail, road and port infrastructure. It is a 7.3 million ton plant which is only producing about 2.5 million tons and on the verge of collapse. SAIL on another side is looking at investing 1 lakh crores to increase their capacity nationwide. So we said in that 1 lakh crores, if part of that money can be given to this plant, within a matter of months, we will be able to pick up production from 2 million tons to greater than 100% capacity to 8 million tons. So that's an instant decrease of 6 million tons. You won't waste time, you don't have to procure land, you don't have to face litigation, you'll immediately get this. Right? So there's a strong economic argument to do it. Nobody had presented it in that manner in the past because the earlier government had no commitment to even revive the plant. They basically gave up and thought they'll do a real estate play. So with this concerted effort of our Chief Minister, Chandrababu Naidu Garu, all our alliance leaders speaking about it, me as an MP, our MLA, the local MLA, Mr. Palla Srinivas, all of us have pushed for this and I'm very thankful that it has come to shape, and 1,600 crores were given in the last few months to ensure that banks and statutory liabilities were taken care of just to make the show run. But revival was yet to be announced. Now 11,440 crore package, primarily in equity allotment, has been announced. These funds will be used to ensure that the 3 furnaces all are operating at full capacity and more. And eventually, hopefully, expanding this plant to much more capacity.
Are we expecting tomorrow's talks also to continue on smoothly? Because we've seen these protests that have been continuously going around since 2021, and February 2nd marks 4 or 5 years since they started the protest. How are we expecting tomorrow to go out?
See, let's separate the issue. The employees and the people, the land losers who have donated land and expecting a job in return, they are very happy. But now that there is light at the end of the tunnel, money is coming, plant will be revived. There may be some vested interests, which will be there in any organization. Those vested interests may be some mid-level managers or some union leaders for whom they don't want a resolution. When the fight is there, their political survival or identity or their ability to influence things, their prominence may continue. When the matter is resolved and the plant is on the way to revival, some of those people's vested interests or games may not run. So they will use that as an opportunity to see, no matter what you give to your child, they'll always want more. No matter what you give to anybody else, there is no end to greed. The government has decided what is the need to revive, and that has been announced. If there is no clarity in these few vested interests, the majority of the people over there will reject them and their voice. So that we will do as a continuous exercise.
Today as well, an important and interesting development that has come up. The press meet has also been issued as well. Tell us a little bit more about that.
See, between 2014 to 19, when we had Mr. Chandrababu Naidu Garu as the Chief Minister, there were multiple GOs issued to resolve revenue matters and endowment land matters across the state. In particular in Visakhapatnam, there are different issues. One is the Simhachalam Panchagramalu issue, which there are people who, for whatever reason, either have documents or don't, now are living there with establishment structures built, homes built, which is declared as endowment land. Now, over the years, they've been living there for generations. Multiple hands have been changed. Who did the mistake originally? Was a mistake committed? All of these were reviewed between those 5 years. And a decision was taken by the government that we will regularize this. And in lieu of the 420 acres of land, which is coming under endowment, alternate land will be given to the Simhachalam Trust as compensation to regularize this to the land beneficiaries. Now, that 420 acres, we have about 12,149 people living there with various structures, and that was regularized in 2018, 17-18. And the condition then was that once it is regularized, after 2 years, you will be able to transfer this. But the new government, when it has come, it has not followed through. The matter has gone into litigation, and nothing happened, no documentation was given. The matter was left unresolved. So we have picked it up again, we have come now. And now in this lieu of this 420 acres, 610 acres has been identified. The chairman of the Trust of Simhachalam, Mr. Gajuwaka Garu, who also happens to be our leader, but his responsibility to the endowment was that we get equal value or greater, but nothing less. So that was provided, taking into account the value of the 420 acres that is going away, the loss of registration cost, whatever it may be. And the estimated cost of transaction is about 5,400 crores. So 5,400 is being regularized, another 5,400 crores worth of land is being given to the endowment. So that resolves this matter of Simhachalam for those who have structures. There is certain land in which structures are not built but are in occupation by somebody else. Certain land where agriculture is happening, and those will be taken up in the second phase. By including that in this, we fear that this resolution will get delayed further because this is already in court. So this is one. The second is in Gajuwaka constituency in particular, which is a problematic constituency as far as revenue matters are concerned. There is a village in which it is Gajuwaka Inam land, which it is privately held, privately owned, but due to some dispute between the government and the party, it has been notified as government land. So this circumstance is different. So that is why there is a separate issue issued for this called 301. And that again was issued prior to 19. Again, YCP government didn't resolve it. Now we are resolving it, and out of those 12,000, I think around 6,000-7,000 people were resolved then. There's still 5,000 left, either because application, some details were missing or they didn't apply. Another 3,000-4,000 who didn't apply are expected to apply now. So we expect the beneficiary list to be about 6,000 people through this Geo 301 in Gajuwaka. That's the second issue. The third issue is a statewide subject of GOs 296 and 388, where various revenue land due to various reasons under occupation, where people have built homes, and we can't keep this issue festering further. Then again, 14 to 19, the government took a decision that we'll call for applications based on the land holding size, is 0 to 100 or 0 to 150 square yards, 150 to 300, 300 to 450. The idea being that 0 to 150 is those who have done it, I cannot say unintentionally, but without any ill intent to occupy government land and do some business out of it. They might have done it out of livelihood. Somebody might have made them believe that it's a private land and have sold it to them. So that out of almost 2 lakh people who have applied and have been approved, almost 60-70,000 beneficiaries are in Visakhapatnam Parliament alone. So we are the disproportionate beneficiaries of these two geos. So these were not resolved. Now these have been resolved with what is the regularization rate based on the size. Under 150 square yards will be free, but after that there will be differing rates. And over 500 you didn't do it unintentionally. So there are going to be consequences. You have to pay 2 to 5 times the registration value to get the land. So that is also resolved. So these are 3 major issues that have been resolved today by the Chief Minister in the meeting with the Revenue Minister, the Endowment Minister and the concerned MLAs.
A lot, especially in the Vishaka region, has slipped through the cracks over the last 5 years, is what you've also been stating over the the last couple of months. And now the government has formed a lot of reforms that have come up as well. How difficult has it been to kind of bring back what was once Visakhapatnam was the king jewel or the crown jewel of Andhra Pradesh once earlier on, but now we've not seen the standards that have come up as it. How difficult has it been?
No, it's you have a sinking ship, economically speaking, because the debt on the state is about 10 lakh crores, including direct debt, payables, etc. So anything that we want to do is extremely difficult. I mean, the mismanagement is so horrible. Many central government schemes where if you gave 20-30% of matching grant from the state, further grants would have come from the center. But the state government went so cheap that they didn't even give their state portion. So those grants have now ceased and good projects have all come to a halt. So see, yes, damage happens, but we can always rebuild. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? Today technology is changing, AI has come in. With the advent of technology, our our slogan now is not ease of governance, but rather speed of governance. How can we leverage technology to make things much faster so that in this environment of scarcity, we're able to innovate and really leapfrog using new technologies, like bringing in 157 government services onto WhatsApp and making things much easier for citizens. Things like this are going to show impact on the economic growth. Even within these 6-7 months of government, the economic forecast of the state GDP has already increased from about 9% to 12.5%. So positivity has come in. It will take time. You cannot be back to normal immediately. It will take us 2-3 years at least to set the house in order. But we are optimistic that under the leadership of our Chief Minister and our entire alliance government, we will be able to.
In terms of, last and final question, in terms of speaking on the lines of speed of governance, expectations from the upcoming budget that we have.
I was just reading many articles that over the last decade, the role of the central government's budget has evolved. So the indirect taxation is not something that comes under the central budget. So let's not make it a singular event that, oh, if it's not good, it's bad, and if it's good, it's great. It is important. It will have its role, but it's continuous. There are so many other things that need to continuously keep evolving. So I look forward to seeing what is there in the budget. And as a state, we also have our requests that we have put in front of the government, and we hope those are also considered. And we are thankful that in the earlier budget that was announced when this government started, that Andhra was considered for particularly the damage that the previous government has done, how to fix it. See, because this is a performing state. If I was in a position where I was leading a private organization and we have 10 schools, which schools have the good potential, I will invest into them. And our request is, Andhra is a good state. We will give you economic value. So we are requesting that this damage, if you are able to bridge in the short term, we will repay in GDP growth and in GST growth and every other growth to the nation.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was TDP MP there, Bharat, who goes on and he also goes and clearly states that ongoing it is going to be the governance, speed of governance as well, and much expectations with the union budget coming up. The video journalist Prasad Apurva Chandran, India Today.